Through years of preparation, countless games, endless training sessions, high-pressure moments that test your mettle, you've seen it all and felt every emotion, but losing never becomes familiar. When you can't stem the tide, stop the run, and hold off an opponent's charge, there's no solace in defeat. That bitter taste is a reminder that you gotta find a way, that everything you've worked hard to attain has equipped you for this situation. The excitement's on high, the anticipation is through the roof, but your adversary is relentless, and your chance to come back is slipping away. Your fans are indomitable, your family's ever present, and without both of them, you lose sight of your ability to fight back. But they're here, and now you've got to give it your all.
Usually during the regular season, you're hanging out in the practice court or down on the floor or in a little sub room beside the floor, you know, just kind of assembling or at least getting a chance to watch some sort of practice, some sort of shoot around. But here the setup's a little bit different where we're all just converging here. I think it's pretty much just because of the massive numbers. You know, I think during the season, people sometimes forget how big the Toronto media market is and that there are a ton of folks when you factor how many different sports networks there are, let alone television and radio, but then the newspapers, but then multiply that by at least 3 or 4 or 5 come the playoffs when you've got the opposing team, and the big time networks, ESPN and TNT are here as well. You just simply can't accommodate the bodies. So we get to hang out here in the hallway and just everybody chats amongst themselves in front of the concession stands, I guess. We've been kind of going ad nauseum about whether it be James Johnson and whether he should or shouldn't have played, Paul Pierce's comments, the Raptors offense, the Raptors defense. Did Washington really play all that well overall when you factor in how well Toronto played defensively and limiting what Washington did? So I think it's kind of like the talk has almost gotten to the point of enough talking.
I don't believe we played so poorly. We made a couple mistakes down the stretch. You know, we definitely came out short. You know, we held the team to 39%, 20% from threes. You know, only thing that causes trouble is rebounds, and we win that game. You know, we just gotta be a little bit more alert and more aggressive on the rebounding end, and I think we win games.
I think, the guys like Dennis Rodman, Charles Oakley, those guys are born. Those true rebounders, those guys are born. The DNA is there. Technique is huge. Attention to detail is huge. The want to is huge. But I think natural is just like shooting. I think rebounders are born.
We didn't play terrible. We just didn't make shots, and we just got out-rebounded. That's two things that we know we can't let happen again, and we played great defense. So we was happy with that. We understand what we got to do next time around.
I think the big thing about the defense is, as well as they played defensively, I think you could flip that and say, but they didn't play well enough defensively, not just because they lost the game, but because of the rebounding. I would say that defense is also not just initial stop, it's finishing the play. And if you're not getting the rebound, you're not finishing the play. If you're giving up 60-plus rebounds to the Wizards, if you're giving up 20-plus second chance points, to me, then your defense did not play that well.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Toronto. I'm Matt Devlin, and we're delighted to welcome everyone here at the Fairmont Royal York Hotel, as well as those joining us live on NBA TV, NBA.com, and the NBA Game Time app. It's an exciting time in the association right now. The NBA playoffs tipped off this weekend with a full slate of 8 games, and it's time to start announcing the winners of the Kia NBA Performance Awards. We have the Man of the Hour, or should I say the Kia NBA Sixth Man of the Hour. He is a 10-year NBA veteran, but this season, his first with the Toronto Raptors, he was really something special. He came off on the bench in all 80 of his games. He averaged a career-high 15.5 points. He also filled the baskets with a career-best 152 made three-pointers. He was a pivotal player in the Raptors achieving their franchise best record. And he is your 2014-2015 Kia NBA Six-Man Award winner, Lou Williams, everyone.
Just very briefly, I just wanted to say thank you to my teammates for being here, my family. Perfect timing. This is the first time my high school coach has been in Toronto. He came up to watch the playoff games, and what a great surprise to have him here and, to have this take place. I also want to say thank you to Masai and Coach Casey for believing in me, bringing me here, especially with the last few years I've had, with the adversity that I've had, for them to believe in my ability, that I still had some basketball left in the tank, and for this to be my first year in Toronto. The fan base has embraced me. I've had very supportive teammates, and DeMar, Chuck, Amir, and all of the other guys. I'm just forever grateful, man. This is a tremendous accomplishment. Couldn't happen at a better time for me. Everything is right in the world. So just very briefly, thank you, and thanks for everybody for coming in.
I had a chance to speak to your high school coach, Roger, before all of this started today, and he had some very complimentary things to say of the kind of player and person that you have grown to be. What role has Roger played in the player that you are today?
He's been a mentor to me. He's been a mentor, been a father figure. My coach used to take me to school every day, would come pick me up, take me to breakfast, and I think the most important thing that he did for me, that's when he did all his coaching. He did all his coaching to me in the car. Everything that he wanted me to know, from whatever he wanted me to be as a leader of his basketball team, it was taught to me right there in the car. And I think that was one of the more valuable lessons that I could have got from him. But he's been everything to me. When I came to South Gwinnett High School, he had 10 seniors and a scrawny freshman, and he had the heart to start the freshmen over these seniors. And so he's been very supportive and by my side the whole time.
I've coached 43 years and still coaching, and that's why you coach. You don't coach for the wins and losses. You coach for the relationships with the 16, 17, 18-year-old kids you have, and you hope you can make a difference. And we had a special relationship and have had now for 14 years, so it's a special time.
I mean, it's still surreal. I mean, I'm still sitting in the stands watching on the floor like, really? It's my baby, I didn't see this level. I mean, I didn't. I was being a parent. I was more into being a parent than I was, looking at the basketball aspect of it. But I've been going to gyms for a long time. I've been through AAU, the whole 9 yards.
I saw him play as an 8th grader, and we had a pretty good team, and I was watching him play as 8th grader because everybody said, you need to come see this 8th grader play. And I looked at my wife and said, he could start for us right now. And we were at 5A program in Georgia, which is really good. And he could have played for us as an 8th grader. So no, the first practice we had, he drove around my best player. He made the most unbelievably quick move I've ever seen in my life, and went around who I thought was my best player like he was standing still. And I thought to myself, okay, this isn't going to be long, him being in the second unit. I think I didn't start him the first game of the year because he asked me not to. He didn't want the pressure. And he scored 28 points and he had 14 points in the fourth quarter. Does that sound like Lou? Fourth quarter points, and we won the game. And I told him after that game, I said, well, you're starting the second game. You don't have a choice in this.
Once I tore my ACL, I said early on that was the closest I felt to retirement. Just because you don't know what's ahead. The fear of not knowing, as people would say. I didn't know what kind of player I would be. And once I finally got back on the court, I realized that, I couldn't jump as high. I wasn't as fast. It takes me a little while to get my legs going. And, it's a frightening thing, but, to be here today is extremely gratifying.
Lou Will is the coolest dude in the world, and if you can't tell on the court, now you know. And he had a song about him. Now he got an award to go with it, with the song.
Drake got it right. He made a song for a reason. He predicted the future, and just a huge accomplishment for Lou. We're all extremely proud of him. We're happy for him. It's a big accomplishment, man, and it's well deserved.
Give it up to Raptor fans. We're, 90 minutes to tip? It's raining out there. I wouldn't be out there in that, yet these fans are out here, and they just can't wait for this game. That is unbelievable support by the Toronto Raptor faithful.
It was one of those games where there's a lot of positives on the defensive side for the Raptors to hang their hat on. But offensively, I can't expect the Raptors to stay this cold throughout this series. At some point, they're going to figure out how to make shots, but the question is, will the Wizards do the same?
They can't go down 0-2.
Yeah.
They can't go down 0-2. Not that that's the end of the series, but you drop 2 on your home court, then you really got to start worrying about that.
Yeah, I know you have numbers for that, but I think that if you lose game 2 at home, then the whole series really becomes a weight on your shoulders, and every game becomes one of those back-to-the-wall games. And I really think the Raptors, having been in this position before, understand when you get that second game, what can happen in the series.
These guys will respond. They watch film. They talked about it internally. They've looked in the mirror individually. And I can't say who's going to win, but I think you'll see Toronto respond and play better in game 2.
What will game 2 bring here tonight on a Tuesday night? Paul Pierce, after game 1, talked about getting greedy, that the Washington Wizards shouldn't settle for a split. Will they be able to take a commanding 2-game-to-none lead? Or will, as Jack Armstrong just pointed out, will the Raptors respond? We find out now. It was the second quarter and third quarter where they combined for just 33 points. Count it! And a foul. DeRozan has come out like he did in game 2 a season ago.
You know, that team's got a lot of fight, and they came out and took it to us in the first 3-4 minutes.
Here's Patterson, the 3. Bang on for Patterson. 5 from three-point range on the offensive glass.
Who boxed him out? Nobody. Again, that's the point Dwayne Casey's making. You got to hammer him. You can't let him go down the lane like that. Waltz in there and tip it in. Put a body on him.
Patterson now, 7 on the clock. Patterson step back. Got it.
Hey, major league move.
Beal finds Gooden. Gooden. Guarded by Amir, the cut. And another foul. That's his third. Lowry has been plagued by foul trouble in this series. And it's only 6 quarters old. What you see in the second quarter, a lot of half-court defense, half-court offense. DeRozan, that early offense going.
Under no circumstances is there to be let up. You keep your intensity up defensively.
It's a 6-0 run coming out of the timeout. With threes, Wall at the end of the clock, and then Pierce rolling. Gortat shot, no. Offensive rebound, put back. In the response, back to a 10-point advantage. 81-68. Wall, and a foul on that. And Dwayne Casey all over Scott Foster. And a technical now on Dwayne Casey. A technical on Dwayne Casey. Understandably so. It appeared as though Amir Johnson was vertical. Lou Williams 0 of 4 from the field. And so many of the things that were successful during the regular season just not happening here as Sessions connects from deep. And it's all Washington.
You look out on the floor right now, the men in white look like they've totally lost their confidence. The Raptors got some pieces to put back together.
I feel for our fans. I mean, we have the greatest fans, passionate fans who's been with us all year, and that's where the pride factor has to come in. And the guys have to go out and play with pride for themselves first, for the team first, and then for our fans.
I thought we came in with the right mindset, not being satisfied after winning game 1, trying to come out here and get game 2. And that's the tone I try to set here in the locker room and in practice. Like, look, man, we want to be greedy.
I see us getting knocked down, going to the basket. I don't see their guys hitting the floor. I see them waltzing in, waving at us and laughing at us, going to the basket. And I don't see us knock, and that's what I challenge the team after the game.
I don't know where we at as far as points in the paint on the stat sheet, but I know for one thing we've been kicking their ass on their glass.
We gotta match their physicality in the paint or going to the basket, going for easy buckets. That's what playoff basketball is about.
We still got going their place. Confidence still high. All we gotta do is take it game by game. Anything can happen. We're not down on ourselves. We understand what we have to do. These 2 games is an example, and we just gotta learn from it and understand we gotta come out in Washington, the death routine. It's a different scenario now. You know, we got to understand we need everybody for every single thing once we out there on that court. And tonight is especially a night to put everything together, from communication on both ends to everybody playing their best basketball and being on the string together.
You got to understand the other team's mindset when they're down 2-0. You know, they're desperate. You know, they're going to come in with a desperate attitude, trying to find any way to get a win, and we got to have that same attitude.
We have to do it smart. It's not like we're going to start a fight with Paul Pierce because he's talking all this. We just got to do it smart and just keep our composure. The series is not over. They're 2-0. They got 2 games. Now, you know, we got an opportunity to come to their house and see what happens. But I have plenty of confidence that we get 1 game.
It's a street fight, and that's what I've been saying all year. We've got to play with that sense of desperation every possession, not just the first quarter, not the first half of the first quarter, because if you look at our starts, they've been, you know, beautiful. Now we got to maintain that. When they throw their punches at us, we got to throw punches back.
They need one tonight. They need one on Sunday night. How do they get a road win, and why have they been so good on the road?
Well, first of all, they're 3-0 in this building the last 2 years as well, out of those 44 road wins. So I think the thing to me that really jumps out on why they've been successful, I think they concentrate better. They come together. They rely on the pass a little bit more. They rely on each other. And I think every one of the guys on our panel would agree. There is nothing sweeter than the sound of silence on the road, and there is nothing sweeter than a road win.
Guys have to want to rebound the ball. You need to have a certain amount of guile, also a certain amount of desire to be a rebounder. I think tonight you're going to see that, because teams that go down 3-0 are 0-110 in the NBA in the history of the game. So you don't want to go down 3-0.
Yeah, tonight's the ultimate measure of Toronto's, you know, temerity and toughness, and I think tonight they get a little bit of their swag back. I think the first place you're going to see that is at the defensive end, and especially rebounding. You know, people don't think about rebounding as playing defense, but it really is, because that's how you finish off your defense, with a rebound to complete the whole cycle and sequence.
This team is going to fight. I believe they have confidence. I believe they believe in one another. So if they lose, it's a strong possibility they may not be going home to Toronto playing. So it's a big game for them.
They have to play with some toughness, too. They've been getting out-rebounded the first couple games and kind of getting away from some of the things that they've been doing well.
Let's get it, boy! Let's get it tonight! Let's start tonight! Let's get it tonight!
But give the Washington Wizards credit, man. They have just outplayed the Raptors these first 2 games. That's all. It's not that Toronto's not trying. It's not that they don't understand they got a rebound. But right now, give Washington credit, man. They're just outplaying the Raptors. When you're getting outplayed, out-rebounded, you got to change your thought pattern. You got to become something that you're not. So if I got to become a bruiser, a dirt digger, or whatever you want to call it, that's what I got to do to win this series. Well, if I'm the coach, and I'm sure what Dwayne Case is, just reminding them of who they are, remind them that they beat this team 3 times and beat them 7 times over the past 2 seasons. Remind them that they won 49 games. Remind them that they won this division. Remind Kyle that he was an all-star. Remind DeMar that he probably would have been one if it wasn't for the injuries. And remind them of how good a team they are. I walked past a few of the Raptors players coming into the arena earlier, and I tell you what, they look like they're getting ready to go into a bar and start a fight. And that's got to be the mentality they got to have. This game, the first quarter, they got to let the Washington Wizards know it's going to be a fight. If they do that, they got a chance. If they don't...
You know the numbers, and you know what tonight means for Toronto. DeRozan jumper, good. Tough shot, good defense by Pierce. And they're loving it out on Jurassic Park. And shout out to all the faithful fans that showed up here on a Friday night. And DeRozan, just like that, 3 from downtown, 20 points already in the opening quarter. It's right around this time of the first 2 games in this series, and Washington takes over, and now they lead 43-42.
Response time. What do you got? Are you going to cave a little bit, or are you going to stand up for yourself on the road and shut this crowd up? Here we go.
Raptors 0-5 here in the quarter. DeRozan on the inside, and it's knocked away.
Yeah, Randy Whitman's defense has been stellar. Every time a Raptor perimeter guy looks to do something, there's another second, third defender coming up saying, none of that.
Technical foul called on DeMar DeRozan. And Beal misses the free throw.
Huge break.
Patterson, the three, got it! Right in front of the Wizards bench. 1-point game again. Washington 7-10 in the quarter. Here's a three, and it's good. Tied at 88. Top finds Pierce, the three, got it. So much conversation here in Washington about taking advantage of game 3. Beal with it. He's going to dribble it out. Can the Raptors get a stop here? Have a little bit of the flair and dramatics at the end of game 3. Wall on the drive. Pierce makes it. Future Hall of Famer. Big moments. The truth. 18 points. And a dejected fan base. And understandable. The Toronto Raptors unable to take game 3 from the Washington Wizards. The Raptors fall. Wizards take care of business at home, and they now lead 3 games to none.
They played really well. They played with all their heart. It sucks that we lost, but you know what? We just have to keep cheering for them. They're trying their best.
Toronto loves the Raptors. We don't care. It don't matter. For 03, they're still going to be here.
There's always a little bit of hope. Anything can happen. They could be the first team to ever do it. You know what? They beat the odds all the time. I'm still voting for them to make it.